So it is now Tuesday, I think about 6 p.m. and I've just washed my hair and I'm just sitting on my bed, and I just wanted to give you a brief update about how my readathon's been going. Also, I was ill yesterday, so I didn't actually film anything. I have currently started 3 of the 4 books that were on my TBR for this readathon. I've started listening to City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab and absolutely loving it. It's it's not quite what I normally read. I think the main protagonist is around 11 or 12 years old, but it's kind of really cute to read, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. It's a nice light reading, probably compared to the other 2 books that I'm currently reading. And so the other 2 ones are Jodi Picoult's A Spark of Light and Renee Edo-Lodge, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. And so the former of those is set in a hostage situation in an abortion clinic. And in particular, it's following the characters that are inside the abortion clinic, so inside the hostage situation, and the hostage negotiator, who is also the father of one of the girls inside the center. And it's just very, very interesting because it's kind of, the story is told backwards. So it starts off at, I think, 5 p.m. and then the next chapter is at 4 p.m. and the next chapter at 3 p.m. And so I'm currently, I think, I've just finished the 3 p.m. chapter. And it's very weird to see how it unfolded, like how going back through time, this whole situation kind of developed. It's also obviously very intense, given that it's, it deals with very, very big questions of, I guess, the value of life, both in terms of abortion rights and in terms of a hostage situation, which does involve some casualties. So yeah, it's a very, very intense book, but I love Jodi Picoult's writing in terms of, it always feels like there's a balance between the sides, the pro-abortion people, the anti-abortion people, the pro-life, pro-choice, whatever you call it. And I just really, really enjoy reading her style of writing. So it always kind of flips between different people's perspectives. So yes, so right now I think I'm about 1/3 through that book. So I started yesterday. I'm also about 1/3 into City of Ghosts. And then lastly, the book I'm reading as well at the moment is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, which is also very, very intense. And it's also made me think a lot about slavery. So I should say the book is about history of Black people in Britain in particular, because I think the author was also saying there is quite often a lot of Black history awareness in America and slavery and slave trade in America, but not so much in Britain and Europe. And so this book has actually, so I'm only about 1/10 into it, and that's mostly because every time I read something, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, let me look up more about this. And so it's kind of slow progress because it's quite an intense book, and also because I keep wanting to look things up about things. So I've looked up slave trade in Germany because I actually had no idea about how and when that happened. And I think it happened quite differently from Britain or America, but there definitely were servants, people that weren't being paid and that were basically used like cattle and being imported like goods. So that's very strange because I don't think I'd ever really heard about this. And so I'm actually finding it kind of difficult to put my thoughts about this book into words, because I think naturally I want to find things that I can relate to with it. I want to go, oh yes, that's the kind of experience that I've had, or oh yes, I can relate to this thing or that or whatever, but I can't. I cannot relate to having history of slavery in my family. I don't have that. I will never know what it's like to be discriminated against because of my color. That is not an experience that I have ever had. And I think in some sense, trying to find those things where I can go, oh yeah, I totally know what you mean, is actually diminishing the author's point. Because I think one really important thing is actually to, shut up and just listen. Because so often she's also, like the author is also saying, so often the narrative of what it means to be human is about what it means to be white. And that is obviously not true. Like, I don't know what the numbers are, but clearly out of the world's population, only a small fraction, or a not majority fraction, is white. So why should whiteness be equal to humanness? But unfortunately, that is kind of how it currently stands. And so I think the really important thing that this book is making me think about is to not try to find similarities in a sense, but to just take what she is saying as her truth and to listen to her truth. But yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying the readathon so far. I still have one book that I haven't started yet. So that's it for Tuesday night. I'll probably get some more reading done later, but we'll see. We're also having a visitor come over for dinner, so I'll have to see if I find time. And then tomorrow it's back to work, so I'll probably get a little bit less done then. All right, it is now around 8 p.m, just before 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening. So that's the third day of the Charms Extra Credit Readathon. And so I didn't get a lot of reading done today, obviously, because I was back at work. And so the only reading that I actually did get done during the day was during my lunch break, which normally I spend with my colleagues, but today I decided to be completely antisocial and just grab my Kindle, sit in the cafeteria, and I continued reading A Spark of Light by Jodi Picoult. Still absolutely loving it. It's so intense. And it has such an interesting kind of dialogue in a sense about, the abortion rights or the, pro-life, pro-choice, kind of that whole debate thing. So I'm really, really enjoying reading it. Other than that, I haven't really done any reading today. It's mostly been a normal day at work. And so now I've finished everything I needed to do, had a shower, hung up the clothes, the kind of everyday chores sort of thing. And I decided that now I'm going to spend a nice good while just reading in bed. I might go get myself some nice drink. I'm thinking I might go make myself a banana peanut butter smoothie. And I'm going to go continue reading A Spark of Light and probably also some more of Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. And I don't remember exactly where I'm in A Spark of Light at the moment. I think somewhere around 40%, maybe something like that. So maybe I might make it to 50 tonight. That would be very good in terms of keeping me on track for finishing everything, hopefully everything, before Sunday evening. So we'll have to see.